What's up, guys? Simon here for Thomann Drum Bash. And I have a very special guest in the studio today, and I'm super excited about it. Here's Mr. Zack Grooves.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah,
Thomann
thanks for
Drum
being
Bash.
here.
Yeah, man.
How are you? How do you feel? How's it going?
It's great. It's an honor to be here. Like I was telling my dedicated German over here, Dennis, I had an hour and a half of sleep last night.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't
What
sleep. I don't
happened?
know, because I was so excited for this. The studio session, hanging out with all the Thomann boys.
course,
Last night we did a
course.
clinic here.
Yeah,
and
which was amazing, by the way.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
It was we said some edgy things that were live streamed, but not edgy enough to where I got the boys canceled. So we're still good. And then got home, and I started thinking, oh man, I'm going to the Thomann studios tomorrow, and just kept me up all night.
Yeah, I
And
bet.
now I'm here sipping on coffee, and I'm so glad to be here with you
Sweet.
guys. So thank you for having me, the Drum Bash. I've been a fan of your channel for a while, actually.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
You guys make some quality content.
Thanks, dude. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you for having me and doing
Yeah,
what you
nice.
guys
Glad
do.
you're here. Zach, maybe we can talk a little bit about how you got into the drumming world, actually. What age did you begin? And was there a specific moment or a person that got you into playing
Oh yeah,
drums?
yeah. So my father was in a rock band.
Mm-hmm.
Since I was in diaper, I can literally remember the story. He was playing this big 4th of July bash with his band.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on my mother's lap in my diapers, and the band came in, and his drummer started playing the kick. And you know how it is when you're at a show, you feel the kick.
Yeah.
But as a baby, that's just something so memorable for me. And I remember ever since then, I've always wanted to play drums because they're so powerful. And I've always looked up to really kind of like powerful masculine figures. Like Incredible Hulk was my guy, Dragon Ball Z, Goku, anything with like type of energy, that's my thing. And like a kick drum, feeling that for the first time was like, oh, I want to do that. Yeah. Probably sounds weird, but seriously,
No,
that's how it first started. And then it wasn't until I was like a toddler or something when I got my hands on some sticks, and playing drums since the first stroke. It was always like just kind of like a toy,
Yeah.
right? Do you remember your first favorite toy?
My first favorite toy. That's a really good question.
Not your first one, but think of any of your favorite toys as a child.
I think so, yeah. I had actually some, He-Man?
Yes.
I had a ton of He-Man figures.
Okay,
And that was
cool.
like my thing when I was a kid. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Now imagine your age now, and you were still playing with He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like might be a little creepy,
But also pretty cool.
but also
actually,
pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
But this is basically what I'm a big guy still playing with my toys.
Yeah,
Which is all
right.
at least that's the approach I like to have,
Yeah, that's a really nice approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're not gonna catch me playing with like a Incredible Hulk doll on the side.
No?
I mean, not in public.
All right.
You see my bedroom. It's like Hulk covers,
Hulk, yeah.
Hulk bed.
Green.
Green. But yeah.
All right. And then when you got into it, what would you say would be your like major influences from like drummer influences, like maybe I don't know Vinny Colaiuta or like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
kind of stuff?
I'll tell you what, man, the one who's had definitely the most impact on me, and I've thought about this a lot, and there's a lot of drummers that have had a lot of impact on me. But I would say the one who's had the most direct impact on me was Elvin Jones.
All right.
Not only for his playing, I mean, obviously his playing, but kind of his attitude. The way he kind of just stayed in his own lane and just always stayed himself and sounded like himself. I love that about Elvin. And when I was in college, I used to fall asleep every night listening to that Elvin Jones documentary, Different Kind of Drummer. Just hearing him talk and just, it's the coolest dude ever. And he was kind of swole too. He
Yeah.
kind of like inspired me to start working out a little bit.
All right,
And he'd be
right. He
playing
was.
drums with a shirt with all these holes in it, looking swole, smoking a cigarette. He just stayed in his lane and sounded like him always. And I always thought that was cool. Like I was saying, the masculine figures I've always looked up to.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you went to East Carolina
I went to
University?
school called East Carolina University. And at the time I was there, it was the #1 party school for the
Number one
USA.
party school.
Party
All
school for
right,
the
all right, all right.
USA. Yes. And you're not going to believe this, but I didn't go to one single party.
One
I
single,
didn't go to
not
one
even
single.
one.
Bro, I never even kissed a girl in college. Seriously. I was such a nerd. This is all I did.
Always playing drums.
All day, every day. I played so much drums to where I was skipping a lot of classes, and I ended up having to leave school because
Oh, because
I was, you know,
yeah,
I was playing too much drums. Not because I was partying or doing anything cool like kissing girls and drinking. No, I was being a nerd playing drums. But you know,
But what would you say was the most important information or thing you got from college? Like when it comes to playing the drums.
oh, dude, I'll tell
What?
you what. The most important thing I got from college was the community of like-minded people, right? I'm not talking about the kids that go out and party and stuff and
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
kind of slack off. You know, as the guys, you know, I'm gonna tell you this right now. The guys I tour the world with at the moment, my band, Everything Yes.
Yep.
If you haven't checked them out, check them out. All right. We all met in jazz combo class.
In jazz combo class.
Yes, in college,
All right.
almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
And you know, we all kind of had like a similar mindset. Like none of us were really like Chad bros, right? I know I look like it. Everyone calls me a freaking Chad or a douchebag, but back in college, I'm a nerd. I still am a nerd, low key, and you know, just having that similar mindset, that similar hunger for you know, getting better at music and wanting to do the things we do, we just instantly connected off of that, and we all became instant best friends. And fast forward almost 10 years later, you know, we tour the world together, and that is the #1 thing I got from college.
All right.
And
like,
that's what I would recommend anyone looking to go into music school, right? Like, the piece of paper is cool, borderline a scam, but it depends who you are. But I'm telling you, make friends, long-lasting friends. Don't be that guy that nobody wants to get along with or nobody wants to hang out with. Like, no, make some long-lasting friends with some like-minded people, some people who are hungry for it. Because those guys you make friends with in school are most likely going to be the guys you're gigging with 5, 10 years later. You know what I'm saying? So let's say like my boy Dennis right there behind the camera. Let's say me and him were buddies in college, but he got a gig with Carrie Underwood, the country singer.
Yeah.
And it's nice and paying. And Dennis is like, we need a drummer for this band. Oh, I know just the guy. My boy Zach from college, man. We used to get beers together and hang out, go to German beer clubs or whatever it may be. And something as simple as that. You know, you'd be surprised how many gigs I got based off of a conversation or like a hangout, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is super
Not
important.
yeah, not like an audition or something like that.
Yeah.
Just based off of one conversation. Like, oh, you're actually fun to be around. Let's go on the road together for a month. You know, it's pretty. Yeah, it's a large piece of the pie is who you are.
Yeah.
I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how did you end up playing Dixon drums? Like, is there a special story behind it, or?
Yeah. Actually, there is a special story behind it. I was doing the YouTube thing. I still do the YouTube thing, but I was just starting doing the YouTube thing, and you know, I'm on camera playing drums. At the time, I was playing a different brand, and to be honest, I was waiting for them to reach out to me because I wanted to be endorsed by that other brand, and that's when I got a call on my phone, my personal cell phone from Greg Bissonette.
No way.
And I don't know how he got my number. I don't know how, but he calls me and he's like, "Hey, Zach, man, you ever heard of Dixon Drums?" And I'm like, "Dixon Drums? No, I've never heard of Dixon Drums. What is that? Is that like a Dixon Drums?
Dixon Drums.
Yeah,
I know what I mean. It's like,
it sounds freaky, Greg. What are you into, bro? He's like, no. Dixon Drums, the drum company, like the drum brand. I was like, no. So I put up some images online, and they look cool. And I really like the logo too. It looks cool. But I'd never heard the way they sounded, never played on them. And he goes, "Can we send you a drum kit?" And I'm like, "How much?" He's like, "No, for free." And I'm like, "Duh. I'm not gonna say no to free drums. Like, I'm a crackhead, right?" So he sends me the drums, and I unbox them. And let me tell you what, it was a Cornerstone series drum set. It was a natural finish, and those are the first drums I've ever taken out of a box. No tuning, no head changing. I didn't even twist the snare strainer thing.
oh, really?
Yeah, I just took it right out of the box, set it up how it
And
was, and I just started playing. The first drums I've taken out like that where I genuinely love the way they felt and played. You know how it is when you get stock heads, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, and
I gotta change these heads instantly.
Yeah, it's
know?
the first thing you do actually when you get in drums.
Now I'm a Dixon. And that was like, oh, okay. I see now. All right. And can you imagine what happened when I actually put on the heads I wanted and tuned it up? It was like, oh.
I totally understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's how I heard it. So I was playing on those drums for like a year straight, you know? And then that's when I was invited out to go to Taiwan.
Oh, you did go to.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Taiwan, they got some baddies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, talking about drums.
Right.
So I'm at the factory and they're letting me build my own
way.
custom drum set, right? Well, I'm not literally like going,
Yeah,
because I would mess it all up. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Ooh, I like that color. Ooh, you know what I'm saying? And I see all these guys working on it. And the cool thing about that factory, it's Dixon too. It's one of the few remaining truly family-based brands, right? Like literally, when you go in the factory, you see like the cousin one, cousin two, the father and the son.
Yeah.
And I think that's so awesome to me, right? And it kind of makes you feel like a part of that family. And I really do feel like that. I feel like I'm a part of a family, right? And to me, that is more important than how the drums sound. You know, it's like that family feeling, right? I don't want to feel like, you know, they don't really care about me or I'm just a number on their cells or whatever. No, they want like, dude, Jim, our USA Dixon guy texted me like 2 days ago. He's like, hey man, how you feeling? How your parents? Like that means everything to me, right? Little stuff like that. That's why I love Dixon. Dennis right here behind the camera, man. He's a part of the Dixon team. Treating me like family, bro. He's buying me beers. You know, we're joking around. Just my sugar daddy. And obviously Kay, another Dixon rep here from Taiwan. You know, they treat me so good. But yeah, all right. Sorry, I've talked about it too much.
Sorry.
That's how. Yeah, I just love him, man. I love him.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. And you can really tell, and that's great.
I'm passionate about these drums and the people that work there. These drums in particular, not my normal drum set, but let me tell you, I think they're gonna be.
Yeah.
I usually play with super thin maple shells. But this is like a mix of maple and walnut. And the color,
I like the combination also.
Look at the color, man. Matches my shoes, bro. Get that camera, man. The color's nice. Yeah, I love it, man. Woo.
Great.
All right, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
I probably sound like a salesperson, but that's not what I'm trying to do.
No.
Yeah.
You don't. A lot of people know you because of your high energy playing. How would you describe your own style of playing?
See, I like to put in a lot of life into playing drums. With everything I do, really. You know, if for example, if I'm having a really good day, I'm gonna sound like it.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm having a real bad day, you might hear that. You know. Like, oh. And I'm fortunate enough to be playing with a group, and our music allows us to express ourselves that way, right? If you haven't heard some of the stuff, check it out. We all put a bunch of life into our playing, and we're all goofballs. So we play with humor.
Yeah.
We play with happiness, and maybe one of us are going through a breakup or a divorce. You know who I'm talking about. I'm sorry, bro. I'm kidding. They're happily back together. Anyways, too much drama, lore, but yeah, and you'll hear that in our playing. And the beautiful thing is, man, when we play live, one song on the record might sound completely different when we play live. Because we're literally putting our hearts and souls into that music, into that performance.
Yeah.
And I'm just so lucky to be playing in a band where we have the space to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jazz.
Maybe we can talk a little bit more about everything. Yes, because I'm really curious also about how you guys do compose your music. Is it like everyone in a room and then you just start jamming, or is there like a more of a concept behind it?
Man,
Like
it's
how you write the songs?
all of the above. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes we come up with grooves based off of silly little exercises we're doing, right? And I'm definitely not one to say come up with songs based off of an exercise you did. Like that's not how music should be written.
No.
But like I said, I'm lucky enough to be in a band where we're like, even in exercises, all of us we treat it like we have a childish approach to it. So like, we might start off as an exercise, but then like, hey, what if we do this like 16th note exercise to like, I'll give you an example, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say me and my bass player, we're just doing 16th notes and like trying to see who can improvise over 16th notes, and whoever messes up first, like slap each other, right?
Yeah.
It's just a fun game to play. So if we're doing like this. We'll do that, and then we'll be like, okay, I'm gonna try to keep a 2 and 4 while keeping that exercise going, right? So we go. And just from that, he'll come up with a nice little bass line to that, or a nice groove. And we'll be like, oh, wait, stop. Because, if you do this long enough, by minute 2 or 3, you've already played all your ideas. And then you start reaching for some extra stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where the magic happens, right? Like, oh, man, that's kind of cool. We've never played that before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, like, come up with a bass line over it. And then I'll make the groove more musical. And then come up with a silly song. Other times, it'll be based off of, most of the time, really, I'll say, it'll be based off of a real life event, because we play instrumental jazz fusion. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's hard to relate to it on an emotional level if you're not into that world. So I think it's real important to create songs based off real experiences, not just because it sounded cool in an exercise, right? Or not just because it's in a mathy time signature, not just because it's in 15/16. And I love doing stuff like that, and it gives us great banter on stage, right? So for example, we have a song called Too Late, and the groove goes like this. Right, and if you broke that down and really transcribed it, see, there's some technical stuff happening.
Yeah,
right? There's some
absolutely,
hi-hat
yeah.
stuff, there's some paradiddles. But when you watch me and you hear me play that, I'm trying to convey to you, like, bro, it's kind of a depressing song, because the story behind the name Too Late is, it's about like coming home to something because you're too late and you came home to something bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm trying to like convey that on the drums, because that's where my brain goes to when that song pops up, right? It's just like, right? Now, if I would play the same exact groove with no emotion at all, check out what happens to the sound.
Yeah.
You know, like no,
No,
right?
yeah.
That's just you're just playing a bunch of notes, right? But I'm trying to play a bunch of notes while telling you, bro, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, you
You
put a
know?
lot of feeling into it,
Yeah.
which is great, and it makes it much more musical
Yeah.
as well. And what I liked also about like because you were talking about it in your clinic yesterday, also is that you have these exercises like the 16th note, or yesterday you also talked about 16th note triplets, I think.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then you start practicing it, but then you're going to make something musical out of it,
Yeah. Exactly.
and this is maybe also pretty important.
Yeah. That's another thing. When it comes to exercises and books or whatever it may be, or
Yeah.
however you go about learning, at least for me personally, I like to immediately try to apply it into a musical context, right? So if I'm reading out of a book for the first time, I see line one, dotted 16th note, eighth, quarter note, whatever the rhythm is. I'm already thinking of a groove that will go with that. Or I'm already thinking, okay, if this is the rhythm, right? I'm already thinking, okay, I'm not just reading down the line, right? I'm
Yeah.
not just playing the exercise. I'm trying to be like, okay, why am I playing this exercise? Like, what can it benefit to me musically? And if I don't have an answer for that, then frankly, I'll close the book,
Yeah.
and put on some Earth, Wind, and Fire, baby. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's great music too.
You know.
Do you also sometimes set limitations when it comes to composing or like coming up with new drum grooves? Like limitations in, I don't know, maybe you're only allowed to play soft, or maybe this time I'm not allowed to use toms or anything like that?
When it comes to composing,
Yeah. Like I mean, for your when you do everything, yes, drum patterns or grooves when you jam and then you come up with some ideas.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
sometimes set limitations or
man, I'll tell you what, no.
no?
And I think it's important to go through that
Yeah.
phase. Um, I think it's important for all musicians to go through that phase of, just choppy, like just play you, baby. Play what you want to play. You know what I'm saying? And based off of response you get, you will be humbled
Right.
when you play at a show and you see no booties moving, right? And you'll learn from that. And you'll be like, okay, maybe nobody really cares about this freaking 15, 16 parallel little triplet titty groove, right? Or whatever it is. Maybe I should scale it back a little bit. This is actually kind of more fun to play. Oh, wow, girls are coming to our shows now. Whoa, that's cool. But I also understand the other side of it. Don't get it twisted.
No,
Like,
no, no,
I am a
no.
nerd at heart. I love the hard stuff, difficult stuff, and all that. So, yes, there's got to be a balance, but at the same time, bro, go crazy, man. Learn your, stay in your lane and just learn your own way. I like yeah, just go crazy. I was gonna tell a story, but it might be too long.
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, just go crazy.
Nice. And yesterday you also mentioned that you tried to implement some double bass drumming
Yeah.
into some new music.
Yes.
And most people know double bass drumming in metal music.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's also a ton of options in not metal music.
Oh,
So
yeah,
what
absolutely.
would be your approach
to
to
learn.
double bass playing in your style of music?
I mean, it would be the same approach to doing single bass stuff, like depending on the melody or the bass line or the groove or whatever is brought to the song. Or I'm sorry, whatever is brought first to the song idea.
Yeah.
Because most of our song starts with one idea, If I feel like it's appropriate to add it somewhere, I will, There's a tune we do called "What You Doing" that's actually out now. Not as we're recording this; it's going to be out like when the video goes live, I assume, because this video's coming out soon. Anyways, there's a tune we do called "What You Doing." It's actually the first tune I've recorded double bass on, and to be fair, I'm so pretty bad at it. I just started using the double bass publicly this clinic tour, I think. So the Europeans are popping my double bass cherry. Yeah, but you know, I just kind of fit it in where I feel like it. I mean, it's not like, and I see the comments on my Instagram and YouTube when I post a picture of my drum set. Everyone's like, no, Zach put on a double bass. He's going to be like thrash now. It's going to be too much. I'm like, trust me, I suck at it. Right, all I can do is like the threes, and I would show you a groove right now from the song, but I don't have the double bass hooked up. But it's just like one extra kick drum, you know.
Yeah.
And it does allow us on some parts, and particularly in jazz fusion, it's kind of cool to like go like be in that kind of prog direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? At least for me, I'm a fan of it, and I'm not really trying to appeal to anyone really, other than my bandmates. So if some people don't like the double bass stuff and the jazz fusion stuff, then get fucked. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it can be used really great. I saw once
agree.
Dennis Chambers with Mike Stern.
Yeah,
And he was also using a double pedal.
Yeah.
And not all the time, of course, but then he was throwing in a couple of 16th notes in fills or what, and it sounded great.
Yeah.
Just really inspiring.
I agree 100%. For those of you watching, check out the band Sungazer. Like, great, lovely musicians, great friends of mine. Sean Crowder, he uses a double bass on a lot of the songs on the new record. And guess what? It sounds exactly like it should be there, and it sounds very intentional. I don't, I guess guys see me on the internet and they're like, oh man, he's gonna be blast beating all over the stuff. Like, no, dude, I just wanna play music.
Yeah.
With an extra kick drum pedal.
Yeah.
But also, I know a lot of guys who are really excited about me pulling out the double bass, and I got to shed with it more. To be honest, I feel like a beginner.
Yeah.
It feels like a beginner all over again, and it's actually kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is what we need, actually.
Yeah.
In between
yeah.
all of that stuff. All right, cool, man. Maybe two more questions. If you
Okay.
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe what do you have coming up in the future? Like, what is going on in this year in 2025?
Okay, so tomorrow I fly home.
Okay.
Back to North Carolina, little state in USA where we really love our guns and our beaches and our mountains, And then I have like 2 days to chill with my dogs and practice because I have a tour coming up with my band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like literally right after this. So we're going to be touring the northeastern part of the USA. It's kind of a short tour. We're doing like some college towns.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you the exact cities right now, but you just have to look it up on my socials, I guess, if you are in that area. And then a couple weeks later, we have a long tour, like a big, hefty tour in Europe and UK.
Oh, you're coming back. Nice.
We're coming back, baby.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not here in Germany, where we would love to.
Yeah.
But on the next one, we will. But yeah, we're hitting UK, Estonia, Sweden, Latvia, Lithuania, and Amsterdam, Netherlands, and a bunch of other places. You can find all the dates.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it, and we're gonna be playing a bunch of the new stuff we've been working on that incorporates some double bass.
Sweet. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Great. And what would be your future, your advice off and maybe also online, because you have a lot of experience through your YouTube game and through like the younger generations of drummers?
Okay. That's a good question. My advice for the younger generation of drummers that are getting into the internet game?
Yeah, well, maybe like both that are starting to playing drums and
Okay.
that maybe also want to start like
I
a
see.
social media presence.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I think for the beginners that are starting off on drums, I would say the best advice I can give you is to stop caring what people think. That's the quicker you can do that, the quicker you can get out of your head and just play the music, right?
Yes.
And another piece of advice I would give to beginners with that being said, always try to be the worst musician in the room. You know, like always try to play, and I mean like don't intentionally be bad. You know, I mean try to always play with guys that are way better than you, and that's something I still do to this day. And I feel like I'm constantly growing from it. I'm always learning from some of my friends back home. And for the guys that are trying to get into the internet game or business, the short answer: don't do drum covers. You're not gonna get paid. Don't stop doing drum covers. You know, like I get it. The views are nice. You know, it's the easy views because people looking at drum covers are usually like non-drummers who want to see a drummer playing this really famous song.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. And that's cool. You know, the views are awesome, and you know you might get endorsed and stuff like that. But come on, let's strive for some original content that can get you paid, because you know drum covers like copyright strikes. Those copyright strikes. I mean, you're not gonna do that. But I also get it if you're trying to get a big gig and you're playing drum covers of the song or of the band you're trying to get a big gig for. But yeah, my short answer would be: don't do drum covers unless you're trying to get a gig with the artist you're doing a drum cover on. Do the original content, because you're gonna get more money. And the thing about drum covers is, how long is the average song? Like 2-3 minutes?
Yeah.
And
It's getting less and less nowadays. But
it's getting less and less. Yeah. So someone that can watch you, and don't get me started about like TikTok and Instagram. Those are like 7, 8 seconds, 10 seconds. Someone that could watch you for 2 minutes, right? Versus someone who can watch you for 7 to 10 to 12 minutes. You know what I'm saying? That eye contact with the camera, that, what we're doing now, we're having a conversation, right? Those fans, those followers are going to go a lot further, I think, or are going to be with you a lot longer than the guys that watch you for like 2 minutes. Like, oh, that's a sick cover, man. Let me go to the next one. Oh, dude, this chick has giant melons. Let me watch this cover. Oh, yeah. We've all seen those. Let's just be real here.
yeah.
I watch them all the time. I'm just kidding.
It's all right.
But yeah, that would be my advice, man. Is like, don't practice 8 hours a day on a 2-minute song or a 10-second clip. If you're gonna practice 8 hours a day, practice, being a good all-around musician that can play, with a band and play live and do all that. And if you're gonna post content online, just don't do only drum covers. You got to find a way to make some money.
Yeah.
If that's your goal, right? But if your goal is to just get a bunch of views and do drum covers, by all means, baby, I ain't judging. But I just see too many kids, like they get their fame, like they get millions of views, like way more than me, doing drum covers. Mm-hmm. And that's what they built their thing off of. And then the moment they try to do like a normal 8-minute video talking to the camera, the fans are like, what the heck who is this guy talking to me right now? Oh, it's the guy that did that cover. Oh, this is boring. He doesn't know how to talk. He doesn't know how to talk to a camera, right? So you gotta get that XP, them XP points. Start talking to a camera, maybe vlog a gig or something, original content, and maybe eventually you'll get monetized, you get some ad revenue, and then maybe start taking in some students, right? Mm-hmm. So that's some more, now you're making a little bit of living, and then maybe you sell a like an ebook,
All right.
make a little bit of living, and then maybe start a band, right?
Even that.
Yeah, and then the guys that have been following you and watching you, they feel like they know you because they watch you 8 to 10 minutes at a time. Who's more likely to buy a ticket to see your show? The guy who feels like he already knows you, or the guy that just kind of scrolled past you after you played a really cool chop for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Personally, I'm going to go for the guy I feel like I know.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure, yeah.
And
because you also want to support it.
yes, exactly. You also want to support him, exactly.
Yeah.
That was a long answer, but sorry.
No
I'm
worries.
sorry about that. I can
Right.
ramble about this stuff all day.
Zach, thank you so much, man.
Thank
It was
you.
a real pleasure also to see you play.
Thank you, man.
Dude, thanks for coming out all the way.
course,
and
man.
I hope you have a great day here.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
safe travels to the US.
Yeah.
We shot some really cool content here on the channel, which is coming out very soon. And maybe some of it is already released. And if you want to see that content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell. And I'll see you again in one of the next videos. And I hopefully see you again in one of your shows.
Yes.
Nice.
Awesome, man. Cool. Thank you, guys. Thomann. Hit that subscribe button. All right. Hit the subscribe. We're trying to get the million.
A million.
Trying to get to 1 million. Thomann. All right. Drum bash. Let's get it, baby. Bye.
Sweet.